Halfway through the marriage registration process, Ellis's unyielding white moonlight sent a photo of herself attempting suicide by banging her head against tofu. Without saying a word, he left me behind and got married to his white moonlight, then went abroad for their honeymoon. That night, his white moonlight updated her status with a picture of used condoms all over the floor. Ellis's message followed shortly after. Even though I've got the marriage certificate with Hedda, she's still willing to let you be the mistress. You should learn from her generosity and understanding. Don't be ungrateful. I know you can't live without me. Once your father's business is all handed over to me, I'll spare one day a week to visit you. Hedda is afraid of the pain. In the future, the children you give birth to will all be hers. After all, she's the main wife and you're the mistress. If you want to keep my heart, you should be sensible. I smiled. As the only daughter of the head of the 4 major families in City B, whoever marries me will be eligible to own all of my family's property. Ellis didn't know that at the moment he left me, I had already changed the person I was going to register the marriage with. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. A month later, I saw Ellis again at a private charity auction. He had his arm around Hedda's waist, allowing her to sit on his lap, and they kissed passionately as if no one else was around. The cheers at the scene, which had been rising and falling, turned into sneers because of my arrival. Ouch, Ellis. Your little dog who licks your boots can't stand the loneliness and has finally come to find you. Iris, you've done well this time. You've broken your patience record. It's been a month. You must be crazy about Ellis. Ellis raised his head from Hedda's neck as if nothing had happened, raising his eyebrows and sneering. Iris, have I been too nice to you? Don't you have any idea of what you are? You think you're worthy of playing hard to get with me? If you have the guts, don't come to find me. You don't even have the slightest self-awareness as a dog who licks boots. You're really disgusting. During the 5 years I dated Ellis, I had seen this kind of words and expressions countless times. In the past, I had been head over heels for him. When I was publicly disliked and scolded by him, I would always feel so sad that my eyes would turn red, and I was afraid that he would be unhappy, so I didn't dare to shed tears. Afterwards, I would bury myself in the quilt, crying until the pillow was wet, and reflect on my mistakes over and over again, afraid that he would hate me. But now, I just calmly replied, I'm not here for you. Ellis didn't expect me to have such an attitude and thought I was still playing hard to get. He kicked the chair in front of me away. Are you addicted to acting like this? Stand there for me. Later, for all the things that Hedda likes, you'll bid the highest price for them. If Hedda is happy, I'll consider forgiving you. Brother Ellis. Hedda nestled in his arms, pouting coquettishly. I don't want the things bought with her stinky money. A young lady like her who has no ability can only show off with her parents' money. I don't know if that money is clean or not. I want to buy the things I like with my own ability. Ellis pinched her pouting little face, his eyes full of doting. Yes, yes, our Hedda is strong and independent. How can she be compared to this good-for-nothing who only knows how to spend her parents' money and live off them? It's Iris who insists on buying things for me. You know how cheap she is. She'll feel uncomfortable if she doesn't lick me or spend money on me. Just think of it as doing a good deed and curing her of her cheapness. Hedda was amused and reluctantly nodded. Then she looked up at me, her eyes full of disgust. Miss Iris, it's not that I'm saying this, but you're a young lady from a good family. Why are you so clingy? A woman should be like me, independent and self-reliant. You can't rely on men all the time. Otherwise, what's the difference between you and a rotten cabbage? I looked down at her custom-made dress worth millions of dollars and smiled faintly. The daughter of a nanny was talking to me, the only daughter of the richest man in City B, about being independent and self-reliant. I walked to the corner and sat down in a quiet place. Ellis frowned and was a bit stunned. He vaguely sensed that I seemed different from before. Before he could react, his friends around him laughed and teased again. TSK, TSK, TSK. Here we go again. She's hiding in the corner crying. Iris can't live without our Ellis. Don't say that. The Franklin family is after all the richest family in City B, and Iris is their only daughter. Mr. Franklin plans to choose a marriage partner from the other 3 major families in City B at her 25th birthday party. It's said that the person has already been chosen. Whoever marries Iris will be able to take over all the property and business of the Franklin family. The assets of the Franklin family are at least tens of billions. I wonder who will be the lucky one to get this overwhelming wealth. Immediately, someone winked and said, Do you even need to ask? It must be our Ellis. Everyone in City B knows that Iris loves Ellis to the core. If Ellis asks her to die, she wouldn't even hesitate for a second. Look, it's only been a month since he ignored her, and she's already come running back. Ha ha ha. She's truly invincible as a dog who licks boots. Once he takes over the Franklin family's property, the whole City B will be under the control of the Gilbert family in the future. Our Ellis is really good at handling women. Teach us. Bro. Ellis pretended to be indifferent, but the slightly raised corners of his mouth betrayed his secret delight. He deliberately raised his voice so that I could hear. Such a cheap woman who throws herself at me is not even worth a single toe of Hedda's. If it weren't for some entertainment, I wouldn't even bother to take a second look at her. She insisted on me marrying her and I can't get rid of her. I'm really annoyed. After saying that, he waited for me to break down and cry. In the past, at such times, I would have already had red eyes and couldn't help but cry out of grievance. But this time, not only did I not shed tears, I didn't even give him a proper glance. Ellis's face immediately turned cold. Just as he was about to come towards me, Hedda clung to his arm. Brother Ellis. The auction is starting. Stay with me. Ellis had no choice but to sit back down with her in his arms. Throughout the entire auction, Hedda liked almost every item. She mumbled that she couldn't afford them while pretending to be strong and saying that she would work hard to earn money to buy them herself. Ellis felt so sorry for her pitiful appearance. With a wave of his hand, he bid the highest price for all of them. She happily hugged his neck and kissed him again and again. As for me, I only bid the highest price once. When the last men's wristwatch was presented, the wristwatch was sapphire blue, with a low-key yet elegant style. Its temperament matched the person in my heart very well. I think you will like it as a marriage registration gift. I was about to leave with the desired gift, but I was stopped by Ellis. He was followed by the organizer of the auction, who was holding a stack of lists. I was puzzled. Is there anything else? Ellis took the list and handed it to me. In a condescending tone, don't say I didn't give you a chance. Pay for all these auction items, and I'll reluctantly have a meal with you tonight. I flipped through it. There were a total of 15 auction items. Because Hedda had been screaming throughout the whole process, Ellis had kept bidding the highest price. The things that originally didn't cost $100 million had been bid up to $2.5 billion. Seeing that I didn't move for a long time, Hedda accused me righteously. Miss Iris, in a relationship between a man and a woman, it's equal. As Brother Ellis's girlfriend, you usually spend his money on food, clothing, and other expenses. You don't spend a single penny yourself. Now, you're only asked to spend a little money to buy some gifts for Brother Ellis. But you're reluctant. You say you love Brother Ellis, but you're so hypocritical and selfish. Ellis, who had been a bit hesitant before, seemed to be convinced by such a reason. His expression became matter of fact, and he said to me in a low voice, Hedda is my wife now. I'm giving you a chance to build a good relationship with her. If you make her unhappy, be careful that I won't even give you the chance to be a mistress. Pay the money quickly. Looking at the man in front of me with his confident and proud face, I almost laughed out of anger. When they said that I spent all of Ellis's money on food, clothing, and other expenses, it meant the leftover cake that Hedda had eaten, the extra porridge that Hedda couldn't finish, and I was living in the house that my father bought for me. But because I caught them having an affair, I was instead slandered as being dirty-minded and was kicked out. For 5 years, I had been infatuated with his looks, but at the marriage registration site, when he left me, that burning throbbing in my heart suddenly cooled down. Looking at him now, there was only stench left. I just felt that I had been blind and foolish, and I had realized my mistake too late. I had actually wasted 5 years on such a scumbag. Seeing that I didn't speak, Ellis impatiently snatched the wristwatch from my hand. Before I could stop him, he had already opened the packaging and put it on his wrist by himself. I've put on this piece of junk you gave me. Are you satisfied now? Hurry up. If you keep pretending, be careful that I really won't pay attention to you. Later, even if you kneel down and give me $5 billion, I won't say a word to you. Ellis's friends also took the opportunity to scold me. Iris, Ellis has given you face. You should be more sensible. It's cute for a woman to be a bit coquettish, but it's disgusting if it goes on and on. That's right. It's just $2.5 billion. It's just pocket money for you. You're so stingy. You should learn from Hedda's generosity and understanding. The gift she gave to Ellis was carefully chosen with the money she earned from part-time jobs. I looked at the small doll hanging on Ellis's phone. It looked out of place and cheap. I couldn't help but laugh. It is quite thoughtful. $9.90 is too much, isn't it? Hedda seemed to have been greatly humiliated. Her eyes quickly turned red, and she bit her lip, looking like a strong and innocent little flower. I don't have as much money as you, but the things I like are all bought with my own hands. I'm cleaner than you. How dare you humiliate me? Ellis hugged her affectionately and sternly shouted at me with a cold face. Apologize to Hedda. I smiled and stuffed all the lists in my hand into her arms. Yeah, you're clean and I'm dirty. So, use your clean money to buy these gifts for your brother Ellis. Hedda's face turned pale. She leaned against Ellis's arms, looking as if she was about to faint at any moment. Ellis was furious and slapped me hard across the face. Iris, have I given you too much freedom? How dare you bully Hedda like this? On your birthday party, even if you kneel down and beg me, I won't agree to the marriage alliance. He gave me a fierce look, picked up Hedda, and strode away. In the past, such words would have already made me panic-stricken. I would have knelt down and cried, begging him not to abandon me. But now, I felt nothing. This slap was to repay the favor he saved me from the kidnappers 5 years ago. A few days later, the jewelry store called to inform me that the wedding ring customized for me by the Hamilton family was ready. When I rushed there in a hurry, I saw Ellis putting his arm around Hedda's waist and trying on the ring. They were standing close together, in an intimate posture. When they saw me come in, Ellis sneered and deliberately bit Hedda's ear lightly, making her shyly hit him. As if that wasn't enough, he pinched Hedda's waist and kissed her deeply as if no one else was around. After the kiss ended, Hedda gave me a provocative look and said coquettishly with a red face, "You're so naughty. There are so many people watching." The professionally trained store clerks didn't look sideways and all kept their heads down. Only I pursed my lips, feeling physically uncomfortable. Ellis raised his eyebrows and looked at me, misinterpreting my expression. He squinted his eyes triumphantly. "Since you know you're wrong, why don't you come over and kowtow to Hedda to apologize?" As soon as he finished speaking, he was interrupted by Hedda's exclamation. "Brother Ellis, this ring is so beautiful. I like it so much. Quick, bring it here for me to try on." The store clerk shook his head apologetically. "I'm sorry. This ring is for Miss Iris. It's a specially customized limited edition, the only one in the world, and we can't let you try it on." The store clerk picked up the ring on the tray and carefully put it on my finger. Hedda stared fixedly at my finger, her twinkling eyes full of unwillingness and greed. Suddenly, her eyes turned red with grievance. "Miss Iris, you know that Brother Ellis and I are going to have a wedding in a week. Are you trying to embarrass me on purpose with this wedding ring?" A wedding in a week. But Ellis clearly knew that my birthday party would be in a week, and my father would preside over my wedding with the marriage partner on the spot. The marriage of the daughter of the richest man would be a grand occasion in the whole city B. I looked up at Ellis. His eyes dodged, and he explained awkwardly, "Then you can just find a place to hide. I'll tell the wedding planner to change it and replace the bride with Hedda. After the wedding, I'll spend a few more days with you. Consider yourself lucky." He looked like he had made a huge sacrifice, which made me laugh out of anger. In my whole life, I had never seen someone so shameless. The daughter of a nanny was stealing the identity of the daughter of the richest man to get married in style. And she even wanted me, the real one, to hide like a rat in the gutter. Fortunately, I stopped my losses in time and had already changed the groom. Seeing that I didn't speak, Ellis took it for granted that he had controlled me again and ordered, "Anyway, you don't need the ring anymore. Take it off and give it to Hedda." "No way," I sneered. "Ellis, where did you get the confidence that I would definitely marry you?" Ellis was taken aback for a moment. Then he laughed as if he had heard a joke. "Do you even know what you're saying? Besides me, who else would want a shameless woman like you who throws herself at others?" After saying that, without waiting for my reaction, he roughly pulled the ring off my finger and put it on Hedda's. Unfortunately, the ring was a size too small. Hedda tried hard to put it on but couldn't. With red eyes, she cried, "Miss Iris, if you didn't want to give it to me, you could have said so earlier. Why do you have to hurt me on purpose like this?" Ellis angrily grabbed the ring and threw it into the toilet, flushing it 5 times in a row. He came out, put his arm around the sad Hedda, and left. Before leaving, he angrily scolded me. "Since Hedda can't wear it, a vicious woman like you don't deserve to wear it either." The ring was gone. I didn't know how to explain it to Harley, but I received his soothing call first. He said that he had already ordered a new one abroad and it would definitely be delivered on the day of my birthday party. He told me not to worry. Feeling relieved. On my way back, I specifically went to the studio, hoping to retrieve the wedding dress that my mother had designed for me before she passed away. Unexpectedly, as soon as I stepped in, the receptionist told me, "Sister Iris, Mr. Ellis is upstairs." In the past 5 years, no one around me knew that I was so infatuated with Ellis that I would risk my life for him. Even in the field of work that I valued the most, Ellis could come and go as if there was no one else around. Thinking of this, my eyelids twitched heavily. When I rushed upstairs quickly, the scene in front of me made my blood rush to my head. Hedda was wearing the wedding dress that my mother had designed for me with her own hands, posing coquettishly in front of the mirror. "Brother Ellis, do I look good in this wedding dress?" "Of course you do. Our Hedda, wearing this wedding dress, will be the most beautiful bride in the world." My mother used to be a renowned international fashion designer. Before she was terminally ill and on the verge of death, in order to leave me the most beautiful wedding dress, she dragged her sick body to draw the design draft and sewed it stitch by stitch herself. After my mother died, this wedding dress became my only memory of her. In the first 2 years when I was with Ellis, he would hold me countless times and gently praise me. "Our Iris, wearing this wedding dress, will be the most beautiful bride in the world." It was as if I had been slapped hard in the face, and my head was buzzing. "Who gave you the permission to touch my things? Take off the wedding dress." Ellis immediately darkened his face. "Iris, you bullied Hedda and snatched her ring. Just give this wedding dress to Hedda as an apology." My face was cold, and I didn't compromise. I said, "Take it off." Embarrassed by my attitude, Ellis became angry and shouted, "That's enough, Iris. If you keep pestering me like this, even if you kneel to death in front of me, I won't attend your birthday party. It will be you who loses face. I'm warning you. Know when to stop, or I will definitely make you regret it." "Forget it, Brother Ellis. Since Miss Iris doesn't want to give it, I'll take it off and return it to her." She ran into the dressing room and came out holding a pile of rags. "Oops, Miss Iris. I'm really sorry. I didn't know the quality of this wedding dress was so poor. It tore into pieces with just a gentle pull. Fortunately, I don't want it anymore. Otherwise, wearing such trash to the wedding would be too demeaning." I held the pieces of cloth on the ground, my heart aching. Seeing my appearance, Ellis said magnanimously, "Since it's already torn, forget it. Anyway, it's not something valuable. Be prepared in a week. Transfer all of your father's property to me. Don't keep a single cent. After Hedda and I have our wedding, you can be my legitimate mistress. I'll give you $300 for your monthly expenses as compensation for you." Looking at their backs as they left, chatting and laughing, I lowered my cold eyes. "In a week. Let's see if you can still laugh." My father held a grand birthday party for me. In addition to the other 3 major families in City B, many business partners also came. When Ellis came in, everyone immediately surrounded him to offer their congratulations. "Mr. Ellis looks like he's destined for great wealth. He and Miss Iris are a perfect match. After today, Mr. Ellis will be the most powerful person in City B. You'll get the big share, and I hope you can spare some crumbs for our small companies." Ellis was flattered and had a haughty look on his face. When I appeared in an exquisite dress, he immediately said in a displeased and low voice, "You're dressed so ostentatiously. It will be inconvenient for you to hide later. Hurry up and find a set of servants' clothes to change into and hide in the toilet. Don't come out for the whole day today." I didn't even look at him. Ellis's face turned black with anger. "Iris, if you dare to ruin my wedding with Hedda, don't expect me to look at you again in the future." Just then, my father and the lawyer came out of the study. My father smiled at me. "My dear daughter, since it's the husband you chose yourself, you can announce it." Ellis saw me walking towards him and raised the corners of his mouth triumphantly. The next second, I passed him by and took the arm of the man standing behind him. "Dad, the marriage partner I want to choose, the person I want to marry, is Harley." At that moment, the whole hall was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop, and even the air seemed to freeze. Bang! A sudden loud noise rang out. Ellis roared out of control. "Impossible. Absolutely impossible. There must be a mistake." Many people lowered their heads and whispered. I thought the young master of the Gilbert family and Miss Iris's marriage was a sure thing. But he's just a clown. He was just looking so smug, as if he was about to become Mr. Franklin's son-in-law. He's really like a pig with scallions in its nose, pretending to be something he's not. He's nothing at all. I heard that the Gilbert family was able to fit in one of the 4 major families in City B, all thanks to the support of the Franklin family. In fact, it's just a second-rate small company. Ellis always acts like a noble young master, but it's all because of Miss Iris giving him face. He's really full of himself. He's a small upstart who can't even eat soft rice properly. He's so embarrassing. If I were him, I wouldn't have the face to show up. The expression on Ellis's face turned green and then red. He gritted his teeth and looked at me. Iris, quickly tell everyone that you made a mistake. The person you're going to marry is obviously me. I had an indifferent expression. Even now, he still took it for granted that I couldn't live without him. I smiled and told him word by word. There's no mistake. The marriage partner I chose, the person I want to be my husband, is Harley. It has nothing to do with you at all. How could this be? You clearly loved me so much. You said that you would only marry me in this life. How could you marry Harley? This hypocrite. His eyes widened as if he had been greatly stimulated. Did he seduce you? Did he try to drive a wedge between us? Iris, Harley is a pervert. He's always been peeping at you and has had ill intentions towards you for a long time. You can't be deceived by him. Only I'm truly in love with you. I smiled sarcastically. Do we even need someone to drive a wedge between our relationship? For Hedda's sake. You've humiliated me and trampled on my feelings several times. You threw away my ring and destroyed the wedding dress my mother left me. How do you have the nerve to say the word true love? With every word I said, Ellis's face became uglier, and in the end, it turned pale. From the day you chose to leave me and go to Hedda at the marriage registration place, you've lost the right to stand beside me. I took a step back and ignored the fear in his eyes. It's all good now. Since you love Hedda so much, I'll let you go. I wish you a happy marriage and that you'll be together forever. After saying that, I pulled Harley and left. No, it's not like this. I can explain. Ellis still tried to hold me back, unwilling to give up. He was stopped by the bodyguards my father had hired. My father frowned and said coldly, Mr. Ellis, know when to stop. He forced a dry smile. Uncle Franklin, please persuade Iris. She's always loved me. It must be that Harley deceived her with his sweet words. You mustn't believe him and hand over the Franklin family's property to a wolf with a hidden agenda. Enough. My father had been in the business world for many years, and his stern shout made Ellis fall silent. I'm not so old and muddle-headed that I can't tell who's a good person and who's a bad one. Ellis was so guilty that he didn't even dare to breathe loudly. I'm not unaware of the things you've done to Iris. For the sake of my daughter's deep love for you in the past, I won't hold it against you. Now that my daughter has made her choice and cut off all ties with you, if you keep pestering her, I don't mind changing the situation of the Gilbert family. Ellis was finally thrown out by the bodyguards. In a sorry state, he fled in embarrassment under the pointing eyes of everyone. On the day of my birthday party, my father presided over the engagement ceremony for me and Harley. Harley insisted on preparing a grand wedding for me, so the wedding date had to be postponed for half a month. My father called me to his room and asked worriedly, My dear daughter, although your marriage with Harley has been decided, if you don't like him, I can step in. Dad, I'm willing. I remembered the day when I was left at the marriage registration place by Ellis. I called him more than 20 times, but he didn't answer. Finally, one call was answered, but it was the lingering sounds of Hedda's voice on speakerphone. Brother Ellis, do you like me or do you like Iris more? Of course it's you. You're my precious little baby. Iris is just a dog that I can call and dismiss at will. After I get the Franklin family's property in the future, I'll make Iris be your maid. You can do whatever you want to her. After 5 years of giving my sincere love, in his heart, I was just a dog. At that moment, my heart finally went completely cold. I walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau with a dead heart, not realizing that a truck running a red light was speeding towards me from the opposite side. When I reacted, my mind went blank as I watched the approaching truck about to hit me. In a moment of crisis, I was forcefully pulled away. When we rolled out, that person used his back to block the stone pier by the roadside for fear that I would fall. I was unharmed, but he broke 2 of his ribs. That person was none other than Harley. Harley and I were actually childhood friends. When we were kids, our houses were next to each other. When my parents were busy, it was Harley who took care of me. Later, the Hamilton family's business moved abroad. Before Harley left, he stuffed a bracelet into my hand and told me to wait for him to come back. I waited year after year until I was kidnapped at the age of 18. The kidnappers wanted money and put a hood over my head. But when they successfully received the ransom, they had evil intentions towards me. When I woke up in the hospital, I saw Ellis with a bruised face. He grinned at me. "It's good that you're okay. It wasn't in vain that I almost lost my life to save you." At the age of 18, there was a boy who risked his life for me. I fell into his sweetness and forgot my promise to Harley. It wasn't until he saved me today, after so many years, that the familiar feeling stirred up my sealed memories. I still couldn't believe that the person who risked his life to save me back then could be someone as heartless and greedy as Ellis. I paid a large sum of money to have someone investigated again. The truth proved that I was really wrong. The person who saved me from the kidnappers and the person who broke 2 ribs for me in the car accident were both Harley. He almost lost his life to save me from the kidnappers. But Ellis took the credit. And not only did I forget our promise back then, but I also made him experience the pain of seeing his loved one fall in love with another man on the verge of death. Every time I thought of these things, the dense pain in my heart made it hard for me to breathe. This time, I firmly told my father, "Dad, I truly want to marry Harley and I will never regret it." My father let out a sigh of relief and smiled with satisfaction. "Harley is a good boy. In fact, he's been asking about you all these years, but he didn't want me to tell you. I'm very happy that you can recognize your true feelings. I'll be at ease handing over the company to you two in the future." When I came out of the room, I saw Harley standing at the door. I walked over and took his hand. "You can rest assured now." He wasn't good at expressing himself, but he just held my hand tightly. "What are you doing?" A sudden angry shout interrupted the wonderful atmosphere. Ellis stood at the gate of the courtyard, as if he had caught his wife cheating. He roared furiously, "Let go of my wife." His eyes were bloodshot as he rushed up and punched Harley. Harley easily dodged it and kicked Ellis back instead. He got up from the stairs and looked at me with a look of unwillingness and pain. "Iris, stop messing around. I know you're just angry with me. Marriage is not a trivial matter. It's still not too late for you to regret it. If you keep acting like this, I'll really get angry. Even if you beg me in the future, I won't take you back. You're a second-hand good now." Sometimes I really admire Ellis. Where does he get the confidence to think that no matter how much he hurts me, I will still love him wholeheartedly? I smiled sarcastically. "The most regretful thing I've ever done is loving you. A thief. For 5 years. Hearing the word, thief, Ellis instinctively glanced at Harley and then said, "I don't know what you're talking about." I exposed him without mercy. "You took credit for Harley's saving my life and deceived me into falling in love with you. In these 5 years, you took pleasure in humiliating me and trampling on my sincere feelings. I don't blame anyone for my own mistakes. Now I'll let you and Hedda go. I hope you won't pester me anymore. I'll say it one last time. I don't love you anymore. I don't love you now. And I won't love you in the future. From now on, there will only be my husband in my heart. Please respect yourself and don't bother me again." I turned around and left, no longer looking at Ellis's lost and dejected appearance. I thought I had made myself clear enough. Unexpectedly, just 3 days later, Ellis came again. This time, he dragged a woman with a bruised face and threw her in front of me. I looked at her for a long time and was shocked to find that it was Hedda. "Iris, you're right. I was a jerk before. I didn't know my own heart. I've carefully reflected on it. It's all this bitch's fault. If it weren't for her seducing me, I would never have betrayed you and hurt you. She's the root cause of all this." I don't know if Hedda was brainwashed or beaten into submission. Hearing him say this, she knelt in front of me with her twisted broken legs and kowtowed desperately. "Miss Iris, I'm the cheap one. I'm the one who seduced Mr. Ellis. It's all my fault. The person Mr. Ellis truly loves in his heart has always been you. Please, give him another chance." As she spoke, there was fear in her eyes. She shrank into a ball, trembling, and looked so wary as if she was afraid that someone would rush up and hit her. Ellis kicked her away, as if he had regained his confidence. He quickly took out 2 divorce certificates and smiled obsequiously at me. "Iris, I've already divorced Hedda. I'm single now. I don't mind that you're a second-hand good. You go and divorce Harley now, and we'll get married right away." "Okay, no way." Looking at his self-righteous and hypocritical appearance, I felt a strong nausea churning in my stomach. "Where on earth do you get the nerve to say that you don't mind me? You always use women as a shield to hide your hypocritical nature of wanting everything. You simply realized that without me, the dog who used to cling to you, you've lost the glory of being flattered. the superior benefits you got from me, and the support of the Franklin family for the Gilbert family. You found that you can no longer squeeze into the upper class. You're afraid that you can't go back to the good old days. So you're humbling yourself to admit your mistakes to me. Actually, you don't think you've done anything wrong at all. Hedda and I are just choices you made after weighing the pros and cons. You don't love anyone. You only love yourself, pretending to be so affectionate. You've even deceived yourself, haven't you? You really make me sick. After saying that, I didn't want to see his face anymore. Just as I was about to turn around, he suddenly rushed up and hugged my legs. Iris, please don't treat me like this. I admit that I was a jerk. I took advantage of your love for me and thought that no matter how much I hurt you, you wouldn't have the heart to leave me. I didn't expect that when you really didn't want me. I was scared. Believe it or not, the only woman I consider my wife in my heart is you. Hedda is just something I used to amuse myself when I was bored. Hearing these words, Hedda beside him trembled violently with her shoulders, and tears couldn't stop falling to the ground. But she didn't dare to say anything. I couldn't stand it anymore and kicked him away, then called the bodyguards to throw both of them out. I also told the bodyguards that if these two people showed up again in the future, they should be beaten and thrown out directly. On the wedding day, Harley came to pick me up very early. When we arrived at the hotel, we heard someone rushing in panic and shouting, "Miss Iris, Mr. Ellis is on the rooftop and is going to jump off the building. He said that if he doesn't see you in 10 minutes, he'll jump right away." I didn't want to care at first, but there were so many guests today. If things went wrong, it might ruin my wedding. I sighed wearily. A pair of big hands encircled me in an embrace, and he gently kissed my forehead. "Go ahead. I'll wait for you to come back for the wedding." As soon as Ellis saw me, his eyes lit up. In just a few days, he seemed to have aged several decades. His clothes were slovenly, his eye sockets were sunken, and his cheekbones protruded sharply. He exuded an overall gloomy aura. "Iris, I knew that you still have feelings for me in your heart." My eyes were cold. "I've already said that it's impossible for us. Even if you jump off the building right now, I won't give you a second look." A trace of unwillingness flashed in his eyes. "Why? What's so inferior about me compared to Harley? I just made a mistake that all men in the world would make. I already know I was wrong. Why won't you give me another chance? Do you think Harley is a good guy? As a man myself, I know men best. I don't believe that he won't cheat after marriage." I frowned in disgust. "Don't assume that all men are like you." Ellis's eyes turned red, and tears couldn't help streaming down. "Fine. I have only one request now. Before you marry another man, kiss me one last time." "Are you crazy?" Ellis raised his head from Hedda's neck as if nothing had happened. I was silent for a moment, and finally nodded. Before walking over, I subtly exchanged a glance with the paramedics beside me. Just as I was about to get within an arm's length of Ellis, he suddenly hugged me, his eyes full of madness. "If I can't have you, neither can Harley. Iris, let's be husband and wife in the underworld." At the critical moment, Hedda, with her hair in disarray, rushed out from nowhere, holding a pillow in her hand. She shouted frantically, "You killed my child. You have to pay with your life." She crashed into us and rushed forward. At the moment when she fell off the balcony, I thought I was doomed, but I was firmly held back by a hand. When Harley pulled me up, 2 loud thuds came from downstairs. I curled up in his arms, trembling uncontrollably. "Don't be afraid. It's okay. I'm here." Pressing against his strong heartbeat, my emotions quickly calmed down. Ellis and Hedda died on the spot, and my wedding with Harley was postponed by 1 day. It would be really unlucky to have the wedding on the same day as Ellis's death anniversary. A year later, we had a pair of twin daughters. For the rest of our lives, every year was peaceful and serene.